We need to go ahead and address the breaking news in football, the chaos that is currently happening in football conversations. Earlier this season, Mel Kiper was on a podcast called First Draft and said this about Cover 2.
That should be outlawed.
Two high safeties? You don't like that? Yeah.
When you go to games, I've been there a ton of Raven games.
Yeah.
And it was years ago when this all started. And I'm sitting there and Lauren was with me. I said, what are these guys doing at? They're like 30 yards off the back. Yeah. I go, where are they? They're out in outer space somewhere. How you gonna throw a ball down the field?
Yeah,
so,
you can't.
Again, I would say we say where you have to line up. I would put a rule in place that brings those safeties up closer to the line of scrimmage. I would outlaw that because that is ruining the game. The things we saw back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, we're not going to see now. The routes that we were working on then, you can't run because you got that going on. That should be outlawed.
Now, obviously, the amount of times that the ball was thrown in the 60s, 70s, 80s versus now and the offense and, there's so many different question marks to go into it. And obviously, as soon as Greeny runs out on Get Up this morning and then brings Mel on to chit-chat about it a little bit more, the entire world erupts. Some people, haven't even got a chance to publicly say how they feel. Let's go to all-pro safety for the Los Angeles Chargers, Derwin James, who was told of the news today while he was in the building.
Bro, they talking about they're going to ban Cover 2. Chill, man, how we going to be able to play?
Okay, so how are we going to be able to play is his immediate reaction of learning about it. Then you talk about everybody that's ever played football saying this is one of the dumbest things that has ever happened. Tony Dungy, one of the people that is obviously one of the founders of the Cover 2 with the Tampa 2, and he said it was founded in the Pittsburgh Steelers in 1973. This is just a part of football. You have 11 guys, you're going to play defense. This is how it So we didn't want to judge anything. Journalistic standards?
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Let's go right to the source to see if there, new information has been presented. Do you change your view on Cover 2?
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us, we're very thankful for this. Obviously, this is short notice. Turn around quickly. Mel Kiper.
Yeah, Mel.
Mel, have you changed your opinion on this after the overwhelming cry of dumbest take in the history of football? Have you changed your take on any of this, Mel? And thank you for joining us, obviously.
Yeah, you bet, Pat. No problem joining you guys. I don't know, you know me pretty well. You think I've changed my take on this? You got all these dipshits, all these clowns out there on social media saying I don't know anything about football. Listen, I've forgotten more about football than all of these morons know, okay? So no, I have not changed my opinion one bit. I think we need to get rid of the two high safeties and two shell. I mean, I said it there. I laid it out perfectly, okay? The NFL is boring. Sure. Whoa. Numbers go like this, money's going like that. Listen, if you had to sit on your couch and watch Daniel Jones try to figure out a two high safety look all Sunday, goddamn guy can't complete a pass. All right, sick and tired of, swinging out the ball on the perimeter, on these little flat routes. I'm sick and tired of it, okay? I mentioned it there. We don't have guys like we used to, the Kenny Stablers, the Gus Ferrats, if you will. He was a little bit later, but he really, was very good at pushing the football down the football field. Obviously, a little bit later, 2000s, Tommy Gun Maddox. Guys like that. He wasn't dealing with the two high safety look. And what was he doing?
He was.
Well, to a certain degree, like I said there, I get mad and my Baltimore accent comes out a little bit. These guys are out there in outer space back there, okay? They're 20, 30, 40 yards off the football field, way back there. Quarterbacks can't even see them. So, no, everyone can say whatever
What's
they
his
want.
problem, Coach? Coach Pagano's here. I don't know if you know him, Mel. 36 years of football coaching on the defensive side of the ball and as head coach. Coach Pagano, how do you feel about everything that's being said about the Cover 2 defense?
Well, I used to have mad respect for Mel
Really?
until this damn take. So, Mel, we can't touch the receivers anymore. You can't get near a quarterback, all right, anymore. And now the only chance we get maybe take a down off in the back end and protect against these unbelievable wide receivers these days. Now you want to ban two high shell. We're not even playing that much Cover 2 out of that two high shell. There's quarters, there's quarter, half. There's strong will, weak will.
Do some research, Mel.
Hey, listen, Chuck, first and foremost, I'd like to say I used to have a lot of respect for you as well. Then I watched that defense you put on tape your last year in Chicago, and that went right out the window. All right? So two can play that game, pal.
This is a highly respected man.
Hey, listen, I used to respect
Did you look at those numbers and see what the final rankings were? Or are you just going to throw that?
Oh, damn.
Hey, you know what? Hey, I do my research, asshole, okay? There's a reason you're sitting up here with these clouds and you're not, on a sideline on a football field.
Well, what are you doing?
Okay?
What are you doing? Isn't that kind of your gig? It has been sitting with clowns?
Listen, well, yeah, but I grab the tape, okay? I watch more tape than anyone in the NFL community does. I stand by that. I understand that. You guys know that better than most, okay? That's one. This shit, okay? Yeah, I mean, the NFL, hey, listen, everyone always talks about, we're yodeling like that goddamn Price is Right game, but do we want to see a plateau? No, we don't. We want this thing to, like I said, go to outer space back there, 20, 40 yards. So, I mean, we need to get rid of the two-eye shell as soon as we can. We need these shitty quarterbacks in the NFL, of which there are several. We need these guys to be able to throw for 300, 400 yards a game, okay?
Well, on that note, AP Tone, who is an AP voter, I'll have you know, Mad Mel, I don't know if you've known that a lot has happened since last time.
Am I? Hey, welcome to the big leagues, Tony. He's He's exactly the guy who I've been sparring with and on the battlefield with today.
Let me ask my
question. Go ahead,
okay?
Tony. Go ahead.
Is there a chance that you want to ban this because all these quarterbacks are playing like shit when you said that they were going to play awesome, so it makes all of your evaluations look like shit?
Whoa!
AP Tone.
AP Tone.
The Raptors.
Well, journalistic standards he's saying in this thing.
Listen, I don't even want to, I don't even want to lend credence to what that asswipe's saying, okay? Guy gets an AP vote for the first time, and he he's walking around like he's, I don't know, Bill Cowher or something, okay? It's absolutely asinine.
You should read his book.
I have read his book, front to back, many times. I can recite the whole goddamn thing for you right now if you'd like me to, but I don't think we have time for that. Exactly. No, listen, did I say Bryce Young was a surefire, can't-miss prospect? I did. Is it his fault that maybe the GM's a moron? Well, I don't know about the new GM. I'll give him some time, but, is the owner a dipshit? Was his previous head coach, was he out to lunch? Was he wishing he was at the seminary and, not on the sidelines? These are the type of things that I can't, listen, I watch the tape, okay? I watch the college tape. I look at, the guy's skill sets. Listen, he was, the Steph Curry of football. Everybody was saying that, big IQ, laser rocket arm, not a great athlete. He's a fair athlete, but not a great athlete. Listen, Dan Jones, the book's been out on him. I said from the get-go when they drafted him, this is idiotic, okay? Yeah. Dumb, stupid. Look at Bo Nix,
What about Jordan Love? I remember your reaction to Jordan Love, Bub.
Remember?
Yeah, remember?
Well, listen, the sun shines on the dog's ass every once in a while. I was wrong about Jordan Love, all right?
Okay. Connor has a question for you, Ty.
Yeah, Matt Mel, always a pleasure to see you. Have you thought about the fact that maybe the offensive coordinators and, some of these gurus are just better at their jobs than the D coordinators, or do you strictly think that these safeties are just too damn deep when it comes to playing defense?
Safeties are too damn deep. I don't know. I mean, you're dressed like a goddamn offensive and defensive coordinator, so you tell me.
I'm on the sidelines tonight, Matt Mel. Actually, to be honest with you, I couldn't disagree with you more. I'm sorry. I just don't think that maybe, a smarter thing to say would have been maybe the defenses play with 10 guys instead of 11.
Well, that ain't football. Okay, I don't know if you know that, but listen, we play with 11 guys on the football field, both sides of the field. Listen, I don't understand it. You're watching a game, you're looking at it, you see these, you can't even see the safeties in all 22. You can't even see them. You got the sideline copy. You can't even see. You can't see the safeties. You got to go to the all 22. You go to the end zone copy, and there they are back in outer space. Are there? I mean, again, I've said that several times, but that's what it looks like. Yeah,
we should have known he was never going to back off of that. And Coach, I appreciate you diving in there and saying, hey, there's a lot more to it than just cover two. We actually pulled some clips. Actually, here's like Harrison Smith, the hitman for the Minnesota Vikings. And whenever you think about, if you just ban safeties from being too far away from the line of scrimmage, Harrison Smith starts this thing all the way down near the line of scrimmage. I believe this is on the Pierre. Let me go ahead and
there
open
we go.
this. Yep, perfect.
Yeah, he's going to be down here on the line of scrimmage on the bottom of the screen here.
Yeah, here we go. Boom. So he's starting 2 yards from the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and so he's talking about too high shell, right? So we've highlighted both safeties in this picture for you. This is B-Flow's defense against the 49ers. So Harrison Smith, 22, and then 24. What's this look like to the quarterback right now?
Single high.
Single high, right? Single high. So, all right, so there's no too high shell. So these quarterbacks now against really good coordinators like B-Flow and what they're doing, it's called disguise Tampa. They're getting to Tampa too, showing a single high. Watch what happens here. So they're going to spin 24 over. He's going to be the deep half player to the right. From the line of scrimmage, okay, Harrison Smith's going to run and be the deep half player, all right, to the short side here. And the quarterback's got to figure this out post-snap. That's what Tom Brady, all right, Mahomes, two of the greatest of our generation, right, in today's football, they've done this at the highest level. You got to figure this out on the run. So that's great football. Here's another one. Look at where the safeties are here at the snap, Pat.
Right where
Guys,
Mel wants them.
Yeah, Mel.
Okay, so, and Mel, 22's on the line of scrimmage, 24's up. So if you're looking at this on the quarterback, right, what are we thinking here? All those guys are at the line of scrimmage. Cover what?
1.
0, right?
0.
You got a picket fence. You got 3-on-3 up top, right? You got number 2 down here has got this wide out down here, man for man. And then they're trying to figure out protection-wise. Okay, do we go to the right? We go to the left? Are they coming from the bottom? Are they coming from the top? Guess what? Now they're going to go disguise Tampa. Now look at what happened here, Pat.
Corners go
Now
deep.
both safeties end up being low defenders. Harrison Smith has got the flat down here at the bottom. Curl window players, the number 24, the safety up at the top. And the corner, who was acting like he had man on the 3-man bunch, he's the half safety now. So great disguise, great plan.
Awesome.
Gets Purdy to jack the ball off. All right, hold it.
Sorry,
and then he's got pressure.
Purdy to jack the ball off?
He
did jack the hell out of that ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and that
did.
buys time.
Ski slopes.
That buys time for your rush. These quarterbacks are trying to figure this thing out on the run post snap. It's brilliant.
So what are you saying?
So what are we going to throw this out too? So this will be the next thing that Mel's going to look at. Oh yeah, this is bullshit too. So we're going to throw out disguise too. And the fact that he said, "Hey, look, too high safety," like we just talked about with him.
Well,
not that much cover two. I mean, it's quarters, quarter, half, strong roll, quarter, half, cover 8 now. Going to the strong side to the nickel, straight quarters across the board, and every now and then you're going to get a too high.
I think what we're hearing from defensive players more specifically who have already been upset about how the game has changed. You hear Chuck talk to Mad Mel and he goes, all right, so we can't touch them. We're not allowed to do this. We're not allowed to hit the quarterback. We're not allowed to grab at all downfield pass. And now we're also not allowed to use cover 2. Okay, so like basically defenders already think it's impossible to play defense. Then you're going to try to take away a scheme that has been developed and sophisticated to help the defense even more. I think that is why Mad Mel and Mel are getting so much heat, because it's like, hey, they've already tried to handcuff the defense enough. And now you're going to take away a coverage that isn't even really the same coverage that cover 2 was 5 years ago. Certainly not what it was in 1973 with the disguises. It's just like a sophistication level that the defense has evolved into, and you wanting to take it away is just kind of crop is basically what everybody is saying.
Think about if you're a corner and you could never play cover 2. That was their time. That was a down off. Because if you play cover 3 and you're lined up on a wide receiver and he goes vertical, that's man, right? You got him. If you're playing quarters, he goes vertical. That's your dude. You got him. If you play man, if you play 0, you got. How would you like to be a corner and not ever get a chance to roll up and play cover 2 where you actually say, hey, thank you, coach. I appreciate you giving us a down every now and then. We go down, squat, play the flat.
Kind of chill,
you'd
relax.
You'd never get a down off.
So the interesting thing about it all, and I know that, Ty, I'm sorry that always happens.
I mean, what are you going to do?
Well, it seems like every single time you guys talk, that ends up happening. He gets all upset. You kind of ruffle his feathers a little bit. Yeah. But I think where Mel Kiper's coming from is I'm tired of being bored watching football.
Sure.
And I think there's a lot of people potentially thinking like that. But people think like that anytime the defense is dominating. Yeah. Anytime the defense is doing good, people get bored. It even happens in like training camp practices. Okay, training camp practices, we've all seen it. Indianapolis Colts training camp, let's say there's a few thousand people there, it's a big night. The offense hits a 50-yard deep ball. Ones versus ones, offense versus defense. T.Y. Hilton catches a touchdown. Place goes bananas. Our team just got bombed on. Literally just got bombed on. Andrew Luck throws a pick. Boo, not happy. Fans are not happy because Andrew Luck just threw a pick. It's just naturally ingrained to want to see explosive and exciting offense. So there will be some counter check to what is happening right now with the defense. What happened this season? Not sure. Will there be a transition era here where offenses have to relearn how to beat these defenses? Have the defensive minds who get paid millions, millions of dollars, and with those dollars, they should buy themselves a Ram truck.
Hell yeah.
Is it potentially the fact that these defensive minds are good and they finally caught up to the introduction of the new offense, the modern spread offense that has trickled in from college and chit-chatted about yada, yada, yada? Have the defenses figured it out? And do they have the players who have played against it long enough that they have figured it out? So now do the offensive gurus have to counter this? Yes, this is football seemingly. Now, is it boring? Some of these games have been tough to stay awake for.
Sure. For sure.
Some of these games have been tough to stay awake for. But with that being said, you get some defenses flying around, making some massive plays. Whenever you do hit that big shot, it's a little bit more of a buildup, a little bit more of excitement. And we looked at some stats about how in the 70s and 80s and all that shit, it was more exciting because Mad Mel has been around. Mel has been around a long, long time. We looked at the percentage or the amount of complete pass attempts per game by decade. Okay, started in the 1930s. 31 pass attempts in the 1930s for both teams. 40s, 44.9. 50s, 53.4. 60s, 55.3. 70s, 52.4. 1980s, 63.4 passes. That feels like that was the big jump there. 63.4 was a massive amount of pass attempts average between the two in 1980s, obviously. Then it goes to 64.8, 65, and then 2010s goes up to 69.6. Now it's at 66.8 in the 2020s or whatever. So it's still the most amount of passing that there's ever been. There always seemingly will be. But the thought of the run game becoming more prominent because the offenses are catching up to what the defenses have been doing, or the defense are catching up to what the offense have been doing, very fascinating shit, honestly.
And that's